What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tyler. You also know me as the Geode Cracker and Collector. I'm sure you guys have read the title of the video already. I hope you guys are as excited as I am, because right over there I've got a handful of chunks and slices of Kentucky agate, Kentucky geodes, and things like that that have all got some really not so pretty looking calcite on them. So today we are going to be using some muriatic acid, which is outside right now. We're going to be using some muriatic acid, and we're going to be giving these suckers a bath, and we're going to be getting rid of that calcite completely. So this is my first time doing this, so I'm going to do my absolute best to teach you guys along the way of what I've learned in my own research and things like that, and the way that my brain understands it. So I hope this helps you guys. Give me just a second, and we're going to be right over there. All right, so everything minus this big slab right there is going to be getting a bath in the acid today. So as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of different chunks. Like I said, we got one slice here of Kentucky agate with some calcite, and then some other ones that have got some calcite all over the place. We are going to give these things a spray, and we're going to check them out a little bit closer. I won't be able to keep them all on screen because there's so many of them, but I did want to show you guys all of them. So this is going to be an action-packed video. I'm super excited. So give me just a second. Let me track down my spray bottle and get it filled up, and we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at these things, and we're going to get outside and start melting them. All right, so here we are. I did my best to kind of get everything on screen, and we're going to give them all a spray here. And then we're going to start taking a closer look. I know everybody wants me to start with this one, right? Well, set that over there and save it for the end. So here we go. This is just a slice, a chunk of a botryoidal chalcedony geode. You can see a little bit of the bubbles there, but then we got that ugly calcite in the middle of it. Here's another chunk from that guy as well. So this one's going to be really cool to see it nice and hollow. Let's see, this one looks super dirty. Give it another spray. We can see some more Kentucky agate there. Let's zoom in real quick. You can see all that calcite just kind of hanging out in the middle. Not a whole lot will change with this one, I don't think, but I'm curious. Not going to do much else with this piece, so might as well melt it and see what's inside. Then we've got this guy here, which was a double. So I'm thinking that both of these cavities are going to be filled with botryoidal chalcedony, which will be really, really awesome. And if you didn't know this about me, botryoidal chalcedony is my absolute favorite mineral, so I'm not going to be mad with that one. We've got another little guy here that we cut. I don't know if we're going to have chalcedony in there. Maybe we're going to have a little bit of a smoky quartz in that one, hopefully. We've got another pair back here that we don't really know what's going to be inside of that, but all that in the middle is calcite, so all that's going to get melted out. Then we've got this guy here that we cracked on a live stream in the past. All that in there is calcite, so we're going to get rid of that. Got another chunk here, and it looks like it just kind of fills in with calcite, so I'm curious how full this actually is with calcite. So like I said, some of these are just going to be complete experiments, and just kind of taking you guys along for the ride. We got a little bit of calcite hanging out in this one. I really just want to clean this one up because it's really nice, almost like grape agate, little itty bitty botryoidal chalcedony bubbles you can kind of see in there. So that one's really pretty. And then I guess we can check out this one now, because there is one I'm saving for the end. This is going to be a really nice piece. So we can see back here that calcite does not go all the way through, so I'm very curious what it's going to look like. It only kind of comes through into that. So I'm hoping that right in there we get a really nice layer of botryoidal chalcedony. Hoping. Fingers are crossed. And then this guy right here, this is the one that inspired me to finally get off of my butt. And come on, let me zoom. and go and get some actual acid, because we can see there's some calcite going on. There's a lot that's decayed. There is a little bit of dog tooth in there, which I'm sad to lose, but we'll see it a little better outside. Look at right there, that pretty quartz point that's exposed, and it looks pretty darn dark to me. So I'm really hoping this one is just going to be chock full of some awesome smoky quartz. But that is it, guys. I'm going to get these things put back into a bin. I'm going to go outside and get my area set up so I can give you guys the safety rundown, what kind of things you guys are going to need to actually be able to do this yourself at home. So stick with me. I'll be right back. All right. So slight change in plans. Obviously, we're still going to be having this video. You're still watching it. But I've got a couple neighbors right now that are mowing their yards. So I'm just going to go over the personal protective equipment, better known as PPE. Just so you guys know, I normally would use a big respirator, but I just don't have one handy right now. So I do have an N95 mask. Definitely want to have some sort of face covering, because this stuff, as you're using it, is going to emit fumes that you do not want inside. So like I already mentioned earlier, everything is going to be getting done outside to minimize any issues with those fumes. We've got some neoprene long gloves. You can see I've got the long sweater on. I'm going to get inside and changed into some long pants and some closed-toed shoes, and then we've got some goggles as well, along with our metal tongs. We don't want to use anything else because they're gonna get deteriorated. So now that that is all said and done, we're gonna go outside. I'm gonna snap some pictures of these things before I set them into the acid, and then you guys are gonna hear probably just some music going on. We'll see if the mowing stops. I'll get back to talking out there. Otherwise, I will see you very soon. All right, so we are outside. It might be a little noisy, but I just wanted to touch base. This is the glass dish that I'm going to be using. As you can see, we are outside. Nice dandelions hanging out over there. So what I want to do first is I'm going to place the first round of stones. I'll try and get it where we can fit everything, but I don't think so. I think we're going to need a couple rounds. So we're going to set the stones in first, and then we're going to put the acid in afterwards. Another, like you saw inside, definitely want to make sure you've got your metal tongs. Once we're setting them in the dish, when there's no acid in there, obviously you're okay, but when it's time to remove them, that's when these are going to come in handy. And again, we've got our mask here, we've got our gloves, and we're still wearing the sweater. We've got the long pants on, closed-toed shoes. And we are going to, like I said, start setting some things in there. One more thing I do want to mention is this. So we've got this bucket here. We're gonna come right up here. Gonna get the hose in. And we are gonna have some water in there, and then I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna grab some baking soda. So this is going to be what we put the stones in after removing them from the acid bath, to make sure that they are neutralized. So you guys will see some footage of me putting them inside of here, seeing how they react and things like that. So once again, it's just water and baking soda. So let's get back. All right, so I might sound a little funny, but we got the mask on, we are getting the gloves on, and we are going to set our first batch of stones in the dish, and we are going to get the acid poured on. Before we do that, I am going to show you guys the bottle of the acid that I am using. Clean strip green. This is what I was recommended to use, muriatic acid. This is already diluted, and there are lower fumes that are emitted, so that's what I was more interested in. So this is what we're going to be pouring over the top of the stones, and let's get them set in. We're gonna go big. We'll start off with these guys. As we can see, a nice big chunk of calcite in the middle. This one's got just a little bit down there. This one's gonna be nice. These little guys. And we're gonna put the other half in there as well. And then these two little guys. And then it's time to get this started. All I gotta do, put my goggles on now. And then obviously, guys, you want to do a slow pour on this. Hold on. I can't get it open with my gloves. All right. The glove is going back on before I take the seal off. And like I said, we're gonna do a nice slow pour. Get your gloves all the way up over your clothes. Another thing to keep in mind with this baking soda bath that is off to the side, if for some reason somehow you do get some of the acid to come into contact with your skin on your hands or your arms or your feet, it is also good to have that nearby. You can dunk a foot in the bucket, stick your arm, stick your hand in, and neutralize that, and hopefully minimize as much damage to your skin as possible. So safety first, guys. Gloves, respirator, goggles. Let's get started. And here we go with a nice slow pour. And we're gonna fill until all the stones are submerged. All right, and there we are. So now we're gonna let that sit for about a half hour or until that reaction stops. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn on the time lapse for you guys so we can enjoy this. All right, and it has been 30 minutes. You can see we still have a couple that are still really going, some that have completely stopped reacting. So we're gonna give this another, we'll give it another 15 minutes and then we're gonna check back in again. But I'm super excited. We'll check back in soon. All right, it has been another 15 minutes and we are still bubbling. So we're just gonna keep letting it do its thing, and I'm gonna set a timer or kind of like a stopwatch, so I can keep track of how much longer it actually takes for this to finish. But otherwise, I'm not really going to give it a set amount of time. I'm just going to kind of keep peeking in and see what's going on. So let's have a little peek. Grab my gloves. Alright, we are almost done. Just a little bit of calcite left in that one there. I think these other ones are pretty much done. Alright, yeah, so we're just going to give that a little bit more time to do its thing. And we will check back in soon. Alright, so another half hour has gone by and we can see there's very little reaction going on. We are going to get our gloves back on here. We're going to move that guy there a little bit and see. I think we're just going to call it and we're going to go ahead and get this out of here. As you just saw, there was a little chunk that just kind of floated out from in there. You can see it right there. So I'm thinking maybe there's like a couple chunks that are just floating, but they're caught inside that cavity there. Yeah, we are going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and move our bucket to neutralize these stones over a little bit. And I'll set the bucket right there so we can just go straight into the bucket. And here we go. Try and get out as much of that acid as possible. There we go. That's the reaction I was talking about. Alright, so we are all finished with that. We're going to go ahead and set those in there as well. And we are going to get ready to set the next batch inside of here. Now, a rule of thumb and why it's important to keep track of how long your stones stay inside of the acid solution is you want to have them be in your neutral solution for twice as long, at least twice as long. So this ended up being a total of 1 hour and 15 minutes. So they're going to be in there for 2.5 hours. But we're going to grab our tongs and we're going to set these other pieces in here. And we're going to get started. Now this piece I didn't show inside before we came out, but this is a nice chunk of botryoidal chalcedony. And you can see there's quite a bit of calcite inside of there. So this one is going to be a lot of fun. Now this one is quite heavy, so I'm going to use my hand to set it down right on the edge. And I'll use the tongs to adjust it. And all right, as we can see, we have got batch number 2 started up. Everything is going nice. We've got the tongs, we've got all our other stones, we've got the parts of the gloves where they come in closest contact with the acid are in there as well. They're just going to sit in that that solution, and it's just going to neutralize any acid that kind of carried over. So we're going to wait on this one. We're going to enjoy a little bit of a time lapse, and then we will check back in very soon. All right, here we are at the 30-minute check-in. We're still bubbling. So we're gonna do like before. Give it another 15, and then we're gonna check back in real soon. All right. Okay, so 15-minute check-in. We can see there's still a couple that are going nice and vigorously. Some that are already done, but we're just gonna go ahead and give them some more time. And next time we check in, we'll be ready to move on over to that bucket. So we'll be back. All right, it has been another 20 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my gloves on, and we're gonna get these in a bag. I know there's still some reactions going on, but at this point, just gonna pull them out, and you know, if we gotta touch them up another time, we can do that. All right, so we've got the second batch in here getting neutralized. The first batch is sitting right up there. That one's almost done with its bath, but we will check in just a couple hours in the garage, and we're gonna look at all of them, and I'm super excited, so we'll be back soon. Well, all right, here we are. It has been a few hours. It must be like National Mow Your Lawn Day, because I swear every single person on my block has mowed their lawn in the time that I've tried to film this dang video today. But that's all right. We're just gonna get right into it. We're gonna start down here in this corner. We're gonna work our way around. So you guys will be able, oh my God, look at that smoky, I love it. So at the end of the video, you guys will get to see some side-by-side, like before and after pictures and things like that. So do not fret they are coming. So there is one. If you remember, that was all full of calcite in there. Same thing with this one. Although this side has got something funky. I have no idea what that is. No clue. So if you have any ideas, please let me know down in the comments, because I'm not sure. Next up, we'll go with this guy sitting right here, and you'll remember this was completely filled in here with calcite. So another thing, the little bit of orange there, I'm not too sure where that's coming from. Some really pretty gemmy botryoidal chalcedony. Look at this one. Just want to take a bite of it. I love it. Moving on. Get into some more botryoidal chalcedony. Just as I suspected. Botryoidal chalcedony. Oh, maybe a little bit of pyrite. But some pretty botryoidal inside of both cavities. Oh, that makes me so happy. It came out really, really well. Alright, next up, we'll go with this guy right here. Check that out. Love the fortification banding going on in that. Very pretty. Moving on. Like this one right here. And another one that was just completely full. There's the other half of it. Pretty sure this is some botryoidal chalcedony. Just some tan color. I'll have to get a closer look at it. Next up we have this guy, which still has a little bit of calcite left in there. But this one was also full of calcite. Really, really cool. Got some grape agate here, basically. Some really tiny botryoidal chalcedony. Really pretty fortification banding going on inside of there too. I love the color change. And here we have the counterpart. That was full of nice and decayed calcite. Alright, we got just a few more here, and then we are gonna get on with the slideshow. So this one had some calcite down in there. Cleaned it up a little bit too. Not too bad. Some like deep mahogany colored botryoidal chalcedony in that. So no complaints from me. And then lastly, well, not lastly, before we get to the ones that I'm really excited about, this one here was pretty crazy too. So all that was filled in with calcite. Next, back here, a little bit of calcite left there. But we have this beautiful chunk of black botryoidal chalcedony from Kentucky, and it cleaned up so nice. Alright, moving on to the last two. We will get to this guy first. I'm gonna give it a quick little spritz. And boy, was I surprised. I was thinking maybe some botryoidal chalcedony, but we got some botryoidal quartz going on there. And we also have some red stuff going on in there as well. So we'll have to do a follow-up video with this one and investigate what all that red color is in there, because it seems to me like it might be some red agate like we see in that little cavity right there. And then last, but certainly not least, the piece that made me want to do this is beautiful. So I think this is like dolomite or something in here, so I'm gonna have to pick all that away. And there's not quite smoky like I was hoping for, but this is still really, really pretty. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I do apologize. I know it was a little bit longer, but I wanted to show you guys everything. This is my first time using the muriatic acid, and I wanted to make sure I did everything properly and showed you guys along the way. There will be a separate video. I am going to make a video on how to clean your rocks with muriatic acid, and that one is probably going to be around 5 to 6 minutes long. This one was just the first run, so we were just having fun and learning along the way. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you are new to the channel and this is the first video of mine that you are watching, I thank you for choosing this one. And I would really appreciate if you clicked that little button down there, somewhere around there, that says subscribe, and clicking that bell notification. Stay up to date on all of my future videos. I've got videos coming out at least twice a week. Most of the time it's 3 times a week, but you don't want to miss any of the content. Mondays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time is when I normally am uploading, with the option to do some live content on the weekends. So thank you guys so much. Be sure to let me know down in the comments which one of these was your favorite. Which one do you think had the craziest transformation? Because I would love to know. But until then, enjoy these photos.